welcome to our breakfast business meeting.
Oh, there's people in our seat. Yeah, morning.
Happy Tuesday morning.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We are just finishing our morning breakfast meeting. For those of you that are new, this is a place that we meet once a week to talk about, try and like get our feet underneath us for this week ahead. And plan like long-term events. So a lot of things come up in this meeting. Sometimes we try and like debrief stuff that's come up with the kids. So we got a few things on the calendar, or at least work through some practical issues. And one of the bigger things we're working through right now is Christmas and shopping and presents. Like during our 12-step meeting yesterday, one of our kids was sharing that they were stressing out about gift buying, and it was like one of the first times it occurred to me like, oh yeah, this isn't just stressful for adults. At some point it actually becomes stressful for kids because, you know, they're worried about buying the perfect present, and our kids have...
Or having a present for everyone.
Yeah, they have 5 siblings and 2 parents, so that's like 7 gifts they feel like they need to buy. But we are leaning towards little to no presents this year for quite a few reasons. You know, we're going on the Appalachian Trail in 3 months, and we're actually just in a season of downsizing our entire life. And all the hype and pressure and busyness of this season is not... I don't feel like it's worth it.
I read in my journal for Christmas last year that the kids got quite a bit of presents from us, and then they were being kind of bratty the whole day. I don't really like that, and it's not to say presents are bad, but sometimes they're not super helpful either. But we want to do something special, so I think we'll do special things on Christmas, but I don't think we're gonna have a whole lot of gifts.
We gotta go. It's time for Hebrew. See you tonight, Tim. So like the type of stuff that we use for today.
I am gonna record my song. I can think of a million reasons not to do this right now. My baby's screaming in the background. I have other things that are vying for my attention. But my whole goal is to just keep on playing and posting, playing and posting. So even if it's not perfect, my goal is still being reached. I just started! I took my love and start over. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So first, the important stuff. I don't really know what to do with my hair these days. It's not as short as it was, so now it's doing all kinds of funny things. Plus, I haven't washed my hair in like a month. That could be part of it, but maybe that is making it more awesome. Not really sure. But I usually put this bobby pin here because Ben really likes this. But then I decided to put another one here. But I don't know if that looks really funny. That was really hard to record that song for me because I actually felt like I did pretty well with it, but it was really stressful because I like messed up 4 times before that. Like in the beginning, I was getting like all nervous. But I actually feel really proud of myself right now for just doing it. I feel like that's a step in the right direction for me. But if you're interested in listening to that song that I just did, it will be posted on this Saturday, Ben?
Yeah.
It'll be posted this Saturday. The next thing I have on my to-do list today is I'm working through some more grief recovery stuff with another family relationship of mine. I was gonna go to the coffee shop, but I decided to stay home. But I'm treating myself because grief recovery work, as you might guess, isn't that easy. So I'm gonna smoke a cigar. Ben's getting me a special cigar. And I am gonna drink more coffee.
While Cammie's doing her writing, I want to talk to you guys about tattoos. As most of you guys might know, we had this long segment on our vlog called Tattoo Tuesdays. And every Tuesday, we would talk about the meaning behind one of our tattoos. And PTL, we just finished and we covered all of our tattoos. Took like a year. But it occurred to me that while we talked about each individual tattoo, I don't know if I ever really shared like my philosophy behind tattoos. And I think it's like one of the most important shaping things about why I got any of them to begin with. You know, I got my first tattoo when the day I turned 18, and it was like this typical like Christian symbolic fish. And like right now I look at it and it's like kind of embarrassing, like in a way, but I actually don't regret getting it at all. The number one reason why I hear people say that they don't want to get tattoos is because their statement is, well, what if I regret it? And I look at it a little differently, like, that's kind of like the entire point. Like, if you ever look back 10 years in your life at something that meant a lot to you, and you don't see it a little differently, you're probably doing something wrong, because it means you're not growing. Like, the whole reason why I get tattoos is because I want to tell the story accurately of my life, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be living and believing the same things that I did 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And this is where I think specifically the Christian life has the potential to be so different from other belief systems. Is the Christian belief system, in its like truest biblical form, which I don't sense most people are really jiving with or believing, it gives you the ability to live a completely regret-free life or shame-free life about anything in your past. Now let me give you like the ultimate example, I think. So like the hero of the Christian faith is this guy named Paul, who wrote like most of the New Testament. And this guy was like slaughtering Christians. Like he was killing them brutal like. And later on, like in the Bible, he says that he like boasts in his weakness. Like whatever his sin or his worst things were, he actually like brags about it. And it's not because he's looking at the thing and being like, oh, that was super cool what I did, like killing Christians. But it's actually because the goal of the Christian life is not for the individual to be the hero or to get the glory, but the glory goes to the God who both loved and accepted and changed and died for the individual. And you only really see the true limits of that love and like forgiveness when we do our part and are honest about our weakness or the fish tattoo that I got the day I turned 18, you know, or like really the embarrassing things that we did. So in a way, the way that we do our life well as a Christian, for those of you that identify, and even if you don't identify as Christian, I think it would be good for you to know like what the Christian belief system is all about, is not by living a good moral life. It's actually by telling your story honestly and accurately. In other words, giving your testimony. That's the best thing we can do. And if you're a Christian, you believe that God, it's actually God's story, and the testimony is of His faithfulness and love to us in the midst of all the crazy things we do. Not that we're like moral heroes or anything like that. So what I love about my tattoos is not like, there's not one where I'm like, oh man, yeah, that one is so killer and it looks so good. Like I really believe it today. Like most of my tattoos I don't feel that way about because they showed what I believed and who I was back then. And I'm actually glad I wouldn't get that tattoo again. I'm glad I've grown. I'm glad I've changed. Like my life now, I think is more mature, it's better, and I always want it to be that way. But when I look back at this string of pictures scattered across my body, I can like see how I've grown and how I've changed. And that to me is the miracle of our life and our marriage and God, is that we have changed. And I think that is like a miracle, that people can change for the better, because it's not always that way. Some people's hearts get harder, they get more, they decay. But like, I think God is a God of like growth and regeneration and new birth and love, and I think those things can actually soften us and make us more like Him as we change, more beautiful and more healthy. So my tattoos, like, while some of them look like shit, and like I'm like, oh, I remember that, you know, I have like tattoos that I've got with like friends that don't even talk to me anymore. But it's really not about that. It's like, there's this story here that's like, yeah, that's who I was, and I'm not that person anymore. And I'm really thankful and proud of that story. I hope if you guys have tattoos and maybe you know, there's some regret or some things like that, or even it's not tattoos, it's like things lying around your house or stories that we're embarrassed to tell our kids, that we can start to boast about those things, because it's not actually even the like, oh crap, I gotta confess this. That's actually where the power of God's love is pictured best. It's in the things that we want to share the least. It is so nice out here, and I am actually really excited to go for a run today.
Amazing out here. 60 degrees. I'm too hot in my pants. I was feeling stronger the last run we did, feeling a little more winded, but it feels really good to just like get some energy out.
We had dinner at my parents' house, and we just finished watching like a documentary teaching thing. And we also just talked about that whole like Christmas present thing with the kids, and shared our plans about not doing as many presents, but maybe trying to do something special instead. So it's like a hard thing, but I'm glad we at least talked about it. Now Cammie's gonna be doing like watching a TV series with the kids, and I'm heading out to the shed for guys' night.
Yeah, do this.
Where's Eric?
They were eating the pickles. The fridge was all wiped out and all clean.
Well, you waste money.
But that's what you wanted.
You waste money.
You waste money.
You get,
No, I don't
that's
think he's
a
going to waste money. He's going to waste time.
Yeah.